Welcome back to the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas. I'm Lou Rush alongside the coach, Derek Jones, on TexanLive.com. We're bringing you the action of the Cy-Fair Bobcats and the Langham Creek Lobos. Langham Creek leads 35-7 as we get ready for the opening kick of the second half. Coach, what's Cy-Fair need to do to get back into this game?
Right now, Cy-Fair, what they want to try to focus on is trying to slow the Langham Creek Lobos down. They need to come out and run. I mean, they've run the ball well, almost 1,300 yards this season so far. And what they need to do is get each running back that they have, try to get them more involved, try to get your line to get more involved. I mean, when you're down by this much, you want to come out and try to pass the ball a little bit. They haven't had a lot of success passing the ball so far this year, only about 280 yards, kind of what we talked off the break. They need to come out and do what they've done so far this year, is run the ball. I mean, you get your linemen in pass blocking situations where they're not used to, blocking and pass blocking. You've seen some of the pressure that Langham Creek has put on them. So if I'm Cy-Fair, I want to do what I've done all season and try to run the ball and try to get myself slowly back in the game and keep that Langham Creek team off the field.
Well, Cy-Fair is doing just that. They took the kickoff at the 4, and they're all the way across the 40, the 30, the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, 96 yards, no flags. That's one way to get back in the ball game.
That's a big time play, running to the left-hand side, bouncing it back to the right-hand side, all the way untouched. Had a wall set up from Cy-Fair. You asked me what they need to do to get back in it. I say kick the ball off to Cy-Fair and let them run almost a 100-yard kickoff back to the house. That is a big-time play for Cy-Fair, and that's the answer that they need to have. They need to have some success. Like I said, they're our good team. They're undefeated in district. 4-0, coming to season 4-1. I'm sure they're as surprised as we are at what the score is and what's taking place. So they need to go back to who they are, come out, make some big plays, have one of your big return guys take one back to the house just like they did.
And the extra point makes it 35-14, but Eric Hallett picked that ball at the 4 and just took off. And by the time he got to that far side of the field, there was really nobody there from Langham Creek to get him.
And that young man's a sophomore. You get your sophomore out there, and that's the reason why you're on varsity as a sophomore. As my young men at home say, that kid is raw. What that means he's an athlete. That means he's someone that the team can count on even at a young age right now, being a sophomore. So he came out, he caught the kickoff return, once again, bounced to the right-hand side, went untouched, and I think the momentum couldn't be slowly switching over to Cy-Fair. I mean, they still have a wall to climb. They still have to get back in the game, get their offense to slow this Langham Creek, offense down. What we talked about at the break, one way to stop Langham Creek and slow them down a little bit is maybe have that bump and run coverage. You get one cornerback to come up, try to hit Courtney Davis, short, and then have another guy come over the top to slow him down. If you're Cy-Fair, you want to take him completely out of the game. I mean, if you want, even have to triple cover him, you can do that as well, having a guy underneath, a guy over the top, and have a linebacker spy on him. But you need to do something to try to figure out how to slow him down, because if not, I mean, Langham Creek's going to continue to just go back and have Mr. Watson chunk it up.
Well, Cy-Fair just about ready to kick off here. That exciting way to start the second half and get a little bit of momentum, like you said, on their side. But Courtney Davis is standing at his 7, and we know he's not afraid to run it.
He may bring it out. It could be all the way back to the goalpost. He's probably going to run that thing out.
It looks like Osbury will get the kick at the 10, across the 15 to the 20, across the 20, 25. And they'll spot it at the 25. So 1st and 10 for Langham Creek in their first possession of the second half. That kickoff took 20 seconds, and we had a score on the board.
Yeah, Wesley Rod on the tackle on that. I'm looking forward to seeing what Cy-Fair is going to do on defense. They need to have some kind of adjustment made for Courtney, because they're going to continue to come out. Until you stop it, I wouldn't change what I'm doing if I'm Langham Creek. Until they can show that they have some kind of propensity to slow me down, I'm not going to stop doing what we're doing.
So here's Watson with Carter in the backfield with him. He's got 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right, including Davis. And you talked about it. They're giving Davis a 5-yard cushion. The handoff is to Carter straight up the middle, and he's across midfield. He's going to outrun the entire defense, and that's the way to stop the momentum, Coach. 75 yards.
Langham Creek is a big-time offense. I'm not sure their record is not an indication of what they're doing. Like I say, you double cover or triple cover Courtney Davis on the outside, and you have the luxury of giving the ball to to Mr. Carter to run straight up the middle untouched. I mean, that's just nothing but speed. Splitting the secondary, he split the linebackers, he split the safeties. I mean, this Langham Creek offense is very, very impressive.
Yeah, barely played 30 seconds. They got 2 scores.
And this is some exciting football on a Saturday night. I'm glad you guys can get to it on TexanLive.com. This is exciting. These two teams are getting after it, but this Langham Creek team is very, very, very impressive.
And the extra point is good, 42-14 with 11:22 left in the third quarter. I was just going to say there before the snap on there, the hand to Carter, that kickoff return, kind of took the taste out of Cypher's mouth for the points that they gave up, because they had come into the game giving up just 10 points the entire first half of the season, or first half of games throughout the season.
Yeah.
And tonight they gave up 35, and it was like, okay, that kickoff will help the defense, and they handed the ball to Carter, and they just opened up a hole for him, and he was gone.
Yeah, I thought they would get to some momentum with that, but all they were running was just the same thing. You spread them out. You have your corners and spread out. You got your safety spread out. You even have your linebackers spread out. And with the stances that your linemen have, usually when you run that spread offense, the dive is one of those plays that's open. If you can hit it, there's not going to be anybody in that second or third level to bring you down, and that's exactly what happened on that play. Langham Creek is having the success they want to have, and I kind of found out some more information about Mr. Davis, because with a young man playing the way he's playing tonight at wide receiver, somebody's got to be recruiting that guy. And if they didn't, I'm going to give him a scholarship, and I don't have the ability to give him one. But right now, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Colorado State, Fresno, Houston, Illinois, Iowa, I'm kind of getting tired. Kansas, Kansas State, LSU, Maryland, Memphis, Michigan State, Oklahoma State, my school, my alma mater, Minnesota, Purdue, SMU, Texas State, just to name a few, have already offered him. And it says right now he's solid right now to Texas A&M. That doesn't surprise me at all. That's big time.
Cypher lets that kickoff sail into the end zone, and they'll start this drive from their own 25-yard line. Pretty impressive list of schools.
That's a big time list of schools right there. I didn't want to just give him all the love tonight, so I looked up Mr. Carter before he hit that 75-yard touchdown. He's looking at LSU, A&M, Alabama, and Arkansas, and Georgia. He's also leading the A&M. Can you imagine Mr. Carter and Mr. Davis going to A&M? You're talking about the rich getting richer. My goodness.
Kevin Sumlin would not mind having them. Here's Gray under center for the Bobcats. The give is to Kennedy, and he flipped over at the 33-yard or 28-yard line. Kennedy ran straight into a wall, and they just picked him up and turned him over after a short game.
Wow. Michael Hoffman, a big linebacker, came up and kind of had the young man up in the air like that. That's wow, it's a big time hit. Kind of dangerous, but that's a big time hit. Langham Creek is flying around. And of course, when you have all this excitement, it gets everybody excited. So your defense is flying around, your sidelines flying around, the water boy is flying around. I mean, this is exciting football tonight.
Gray under center, offset eye, Wiggum and Kennedy in the backfield. And the fake is to Kennedy. The throw is to, looks like Wiggum on the far side. He'll make the catch at the 34-yard line. And that'll lead them a yard short, make it 3rd and 1 for Cypher, and they're in the hurry up. And the give is to Kennedy. He's got the first down across the 40, 45, all the way to the 48-yard line of Cypher. Big pickup there.
Michael Pryor on that tackle. That's exactly what Cypher needs to do. I mean, they've been, like I said, we talked about it. They're a running team. They need to get the running game back involved. Try to get some more yards back up. I mean, you got Trenton Kennedy. We talked about Blake and Taylor and Bryce. These young men have got a lot of carries, so they need to establish that run, get those big uglies up front to open up some holes and get back to a Cypher brand of football.
And here we go, 1st and 10. Gray gives to Kennedy. Kennedy right back up the middle. Just a short gain, pickup of 2 to midfield. Make it 2nd and 8. And we were talking during the halftime about the size of that Cypher line. They weigh in 300 pounds, 265, 265, 270, and 225.
Wow, that's stout up front. I mean, I can see why they've had a lot of success rushing the ball. And, and I can see why they haven't maybe done as much with the passing game, because when you have that kind of size up front, you can create those holes. You can open up those mismatches with double teams and chip blocks. So I can understand that.
Now they're in the power eye. Wiggum in front of Kennedy. And Gray looks like he will roll and run across midfield, 45-40, down to the 38-yard line, 37-yard line.
And that's a non-standard rollout. Basically, quarterback going back to throw the ball. But once again, receivers hadn't really caught many balls. You don't have any receivers right now in double figures and catching for Cypher. So it's a good opportunity to let the receivers go out. And actually, what they're doing is they're blocking. Although they're running routes, they're actually blocking by taking their man, out of the play, and it allows the quarterback to roll and get a big first down for Cypher.
So a 13-yard pickup there for Gray. And this is what we talked about. Kennedy and Gray and Wiggum. The three-headed monster, running monster. But there's a huge solo tackle on Kennedy all the way back to the 41-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play.
Michael Hoffner, once again, big-time tackle. And what happens on that play is Langham Creek, they also get the scouting reports. They get the same information we get. You can see that what Langham Creek wants to do. You can see what Cypher wants to do. So you send your linebacker right through the A gap and make a big hit in the backfield.
We've got a man down on the field for, is that Cypher? Mm-hmm. A man down on the field for Cypher that they're attending to. But it looks like Cypher's come out now on this series, and they're really, really trying to establish the run, which is their bread and butter, like you talked about. They've had Kennedy going, Gray's gone, and we'll probably see Wiggum somewhere along the line in this particular drive. They're not a throwing team. We talked about that, 283 yards, through the air this season. But what they do is run. And Langham Creek, has strengthened their run defense coming into this game. Mm-hmm. So that slowed them down a bit. But it looks like, at least on this drive, they've got it cranking back up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's what they have to do. I mean, that's what you're comfortable with doing. You've had a lot of success with that. Obviously, when you come in undefeated in your district, you're having some success doing that. So you don't want to get out of what you do. The only downside of that is when you're running the ball, guess what? The clock doesn't stop. So it makes your possessions even more critical every time you have the ball because you're limiting how many times you're going to get those touches. At least when you pass the ball, you have an opportunity for those quick scores, those under 5 second, under 10 second kind of scores. But when you're running the clock, it's a methodical drive. Next thing you know, you've scored a touchdown and you're all excited, but you've run out the whole quarter trying to get there. So that's the only downside to it, unless you hit a big hitter, a quick hitting play that can, take it to the house.
Well, Cypher takes an early timeout here. All the timeouts are sponsored by Tin Roof on TexanLive.com. And Coach, you think about this Langham Creek defense coming in. They've given up just an average of 7 points, maybe a touchdown a quarter in the third quarter of their games this year. So if they can hold Cypher to that, it looks pretty likely that they can win this game going away. Because as you just mentioned, the clock runs on every run play, especially the fact that they move the ball up the middle.
Yep.
Rather than going to the edges.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, coming in the game, kind of seeing what Cypher has done, success running the ball, and kind of seeing some of the negative part that Langham Creek, they're giving up about 180 yards passing, about 217 yards rushing, but they've cleaned that up and fixed it up. It's going to be hard right now for Cypher to get back in this game.
And here's Gray under center. We're ready to go. And Gray is going to run. He's across the 35 and near the 30. They'll mark him down at the 31-yard line. And that will move the chains again.
And tackle made by Brad Pinkerton, one of the linebackers. Once again, a nice play. The quarterback keeper, Gray, is just taking it. He's run the ball pretty well all season long, just like the other running backs as well. And sometimes as quarterback, the ball is in your hands. Instead of turning around and handing it off, hey, I have the ability, here at this position to get some openings. You see your big line making holes for you. Take it down. And, of course, you worry about getting hurt, especially trying to throw the ball. But, they don't throw the ball that much. So run the ball, get your first downs, keep your guys going.
Well, Langham Creek putting 8 in the box, anticipating the run. And they're going to throw instead. Gray hits a man, and he rolls out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play.
Nice pass, nice catch. Stormy Sailor on that catch. once again, it's just like I said, it's not comfortable for Cypher to pass the ball out. But in this situation, like I said, they can't just turn around and run the ball. They have to throw the ball, try to get 5 or 10 yards on these passes, try to stop the clock, and try to get the ball in the end zone as quick as possible. You want as many possessions as you can get before the clock runs out.
And here's Gray with an offset eye behind him. And the give is to Kennedy. And Kennedy is across the 20 to the 19. A pickup of 7, and that should move the chains.
A nice off-tackle run to the left-hand side. You have Kennedy bouncing out, following behind his fullback. Off the tackle's backside, exactly what you want to run. If you have this much success running, you're probably off tackle. You probably have some guys pulling as well to be able to outmatch your defense, running a lot of unbalanced. I see them running unbalanced as well, where they have 4 men to one side. I mean, right now, Cypher is doing what they need to do. They need to try to get in the end zone as quick as possible.
11th play of the drive. Gray under center, Kennedy behind him. And the give is to Kennedy straight up the middle, but he's met. As he crosses the 20, he gets to the 17-yard line. Pickup of 2. So Langham Creek, Cypher is moving the ball 11 plays, but they've ate up over 5 minutes off the clock already.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just taking way too long. I mean, you see the quick strike from Langham Creek. And once again, you see the methodical drive, down the field for Cypher. And like I say, it works. As long as the game is close, it's always going to work in your favor. But as soon as the game kind of gets out of hand like it is right now, you don't have that quick approach. It's kind of in basketball, you don't have 3-point shooters on your team. And this is what you need. You need 3-point shooters to try to get you back in the game as quick as possible.
So with the ball resting at the 17, they had a running play there for no gain on 3rd down. Brings us to a 4th and 7. And you would think they're going to throw here. They've got Gray in the shotgun, and he is going to throw. And it's nearly picked off at the 10 by Langham Creek.
Yeah, off the hands of Brock Wright. The pass was a little bit hot. And like I say, you're not used to catching a lot of passes. I mean, he hasn't caught a lot of passes, so far in this season. And it's unfamiliar territory. He's only caught 5 passes, before tonight's game for about 49 yards. So it's in this crucial situation, trying to get the ball and trying to catch those passes like that. It's really hard when you don't get, game time speed for it.
So Langham Creek takes over at their own 18, 5:17 to play in the 3rd, leading 42-14. So Cypher put together a drive that lasted nearly 5.5 minutes, but no points on the board. Watson has Carter behind him. He's in the shotgun. And the give is the fake to Carter, the pass to, is that Davis again? Can't tell here as he's shoved out of bounds.
Looks like Casey Pryor on that catch.
So a quick out pass and picks up 10 for the first down. They're at the 29. Picks up 11 on the pass to Pryor.
It's exactly what you want to do. I mean, if you're Langham Creek, they have them spread in the quad receiver set. That's 2 receivers top, 2 receivers at the bottom. You want to try to hit them quick and speed up the tempo. Cypher has had the ball. They tried to slow the pace down by running the ball. If you're Langham Creek, you want to do exactly what you're doing and speed it right back up again.
Same formation this time. Watson, he'll give to Carter this time. He's across the 30, near the 35. They'll mark him down at the 34. A pickup of 3 for Carter. Make it 2nd and 7. One thing this half that we haven't seen that we were seeing kind of regular in the first half, we haven't seen a penalty flag yet.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It slows it down. But if you're Cypher, you want that. You want to slow the game down any way you can, and you'll take those as long as they're not on you.
2nd and 7, shotgun formation. And Watson rolls out. He's got the receiver Davis at the 40, and he's pushed out of bounds.
That's a nice quick out route. About a 5-yard stop is what you try to run. You just want to get the balls in his hands. Right now, Cypher, the way they decided to try to slow him down is just have your defender about 5 or 10 yards off of him. That's great, but you're giving up the underneath routes.
And that'll be another Langham Creek first down as the clock continues to roll. 4:11 to play in the 3rd. Watson in the shotgun again. He's got Carter behind him. And the give is to Carter. He's met at the line, but he gets through, fights his way through, and looks like he'll pick up a yard. And it'll be 2nd and 9 at the Langham Creek 43-yard line.
Nice tackle by Derek Jackson, number 46 for Cy-Fair. And I didn't want to leave out Mr. Watson in case someone's listening for his family. He's also looking at Kansas State, Texas State, and Tulsa, by the way.
And Watson looks like he's going to throw, and he is. And who does he have? Davis
again
at the Cy-Fair 48-yard line.
Once again, Cy-Fair, they're taking the guy that's covering him, they're 10 yards off of him. And like I say, that's a sign of respect. And if you're a good quarterback, which Watson is, and you have a good receiver, and Mr. Davis is, and you have your coach setting it up, you're saying, hey, you do that, I'll take the 5-yard out route. I'll take the 5-yard quick. And they're hitting that, and they're still moving the ball.
1st and 10. We're at the Cy-Fair 49 for the Lobos. Watson will run, and he'll just run out of bounds, nowhere to go. And that'll be a loss of 3 on the play. And the ball will be spotted at the Langham Creek 48-yard line.
That's a miscommunication between Watson and Carter. Watson actually tried to zone read to the upper left-hand side, and Carter was going to the right-hand side. So that play-action fake didn't slow anybody down on defense, and that's why the play didn't get any yards for that first down. That's a win for Cy-Fair. It stops the clock, and then they get the ball back.
And here's the first punt of the night, I think, for Langham Creek.
You're right.
And he fields it at the 11 and immediately tackled. Great special teams coverage there by Langham Creek.
Nice coverage from Langham Creek. Like I said, the first time they're kicking tonight, it's the first time for the punter. I know he's excited to get his opportunity to kick the ball, and you have coverage like that to come down and pin Cy-Fair deep, make them drive. If they're going to run the ball, great, run the ball. But you're going to go, 85, 90 yards to get your touchdown, and that's going to run this third quarter out, and it may run out half of the fourth quarter. So
the Bobcats take over at their own 13-yard line. 2:48 left here in the third. They trail Langham Creek 42-14. And Gray will be in the shotgun. Man in motion. They give it. Or he keeps it. He's got a man open, incomplete. Incidental contact there on that play is number 82 for Cy-Fair. I think that's Bryce Wiggum. Tangled up the feet with the cover man, and he's on the ground being attended to at the moment.
Yeah, 82 is Justin Uarte for Cy-Fair.
So the 1st and 10 pass falls incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the Cy-Fair 13. So it's interesting to note that on that series they start with a pass instead of the run. Last series they had 12 play drive that started at their own 25 and then stalled at the Langham Creek 18, and they threw the ball one time, and that was on the fourth play of the drive. So we'll see here now what they dial up on 2nd and 10 from their own 13.
And I'm looking down at the Langham Creek's defense. It appears they're coming out in the 46, which is the Bear defense, something run by Buddy Ryan back in the day with the Eagles, for all you cats that are listening, via TexanLive.com. And that's basically where you have your down lineman. You have 4 guys down the line, but you also have your outside linebacker coming up to cover the tight end. So he's actually standing over your tight end in a defensive position. So you have 5 guys down front.
Yeah, it worked pretty well for the Chicago Bears too. They won a Super Bowl.
I was wondering how they're getting so much pressure, but I can see they're mixing it in and mixing it out. Now they're that regular front now, but I can see them mixing it in.
So Gray is in the shotgun. He'll keep it on a quarterback draw. He's across the 15, across the 10, up to the 14-yard line, it looks like. So he'll pick up a yard on that.
And I'll give you some local scores in the area. Lamar is up 24-14 over Bel Air right now in the third quarter with about 6 minutes to go. Travis is up 31-0 over Clements in the third quarter. You have Cypress Creek 28, Jersey Village 31 right now in the third quarter. Of course, you have Katy up 34-0 over 7 Lakes with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And Gray is back under center now with an offset eye. Wiggum and Kennedy in the backfield, and he's going to throw. He's got a man open, but he throws it out of bounds. And that'll bring it up 4th and 9, and a punting situation for Cypher. Not something they were expecting.
Yeah, like I said, you haven't had a lot of success passing during this season, and when you really need it, now you just haven't done it enough, to sustain any kind of drive.
Make that 3rd and 9, maybe. Those scores that Coach just gave you, you can catch all of them on Texan Live, your new home for Houston High School sports, on TexanLive.com. You can check out that game and any of the other ones that are archived on Texan Live. Here's the handoff. Nope, faked it, got me, and he throws that one incomplete. And now we'll have 4th down.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of pressure up front. Once again, those linemen for Langham Creek are getting through, causing a lot of penetration. You got some linebackers actually coming off the edge. We call that the fire blitz, when you have your linebackers coming off in any particular area in your defense, and it causes havoc. Basically, you have more men than the offensive line can block, and it makes your quarterback step up and try to rush his passes.
Another 3 and out for Cypher, and they'll be kicking to Courtney Davis, who's going to stand at his 43-yard line, it looks like, so it should end up pretty good field position for Langham Creek. The Bobcats only able to run off a minute off the clock, and the kick is going to be a short one, and it'll tumble out of bounds at the Cypher 35-yard line.
Yeah, that ball kind of came off the foot a little bit, and I know he was rushing it because when you're that deep, usually the special teams coordinator is going to try to have guys come in for a punt block on that, so he's trying to hurry up and get it off. I mean, it's a positive that you don't kick the ball to Courtney Davis, but it's also not a positive because it's a short kick, and you give them a short field and try to get more points.
So a net of 25 yards on the punt. We've got 1:38 to play here in the 3rd. And Langham Creek up 42-14 with the ball at the Cypher 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Watson in the shotgun with Carter standing next to him. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Looks like Davis is up top now.
Yeah, they just switched the formation, it seems. He may get this ball.
And the snap is to Watson, and flags on the play.
It looks like a false start, but they got exactly what they wanted. I'm not sure if Cypher is recognizing that.
And it'll be a false start, making it 1st and 15. And that'll back the ball up to the 40-yard line of Cypher.
Yeah, sometimes when you're lining up, you don't notice, when the offense kind of switches like that. All they did was bring trips down here, closer to us, and they put Mr. Davis, the same plays they've been running, they just switched him to the top. Now he's one-on-one out there to the top.
Carter directly behind Watson in the backfield. And the fake is to Carter. The throw is to Davis, and he just missed, making another spectacular catch at the 5-yard line.
That's a good pass rush from Cypher. If Mr. Watson had another second or two, that would have been a touchdown because Courtney Davis was coming open. Like I said, he's man-to-man coverage, which is surprising me that you're letting your defense or forcing your defense to have a one-on-one coverage. By now, you've got to roll someone else over there to help for Courtney Davis.
Well, I've been watching what you've been talking about, and here they are, a 9-yard cushion. There's the pitch to Carter, and he's across the 40, the 35, down to, looks like the 32-yard line.
And Esteban Salinas, one of the young men on the tackle. I mean, you have Carter, who's an outstanding running back. You have Watson in the backfield. You're setting that up so Carter, he can break those plays and take it to the house, as we've seen on some of the touchdowns he's done. But you're also kind of lulling your defense to sleep, trying to set up for Courtney Davis, which I think that's what they want to do.
So Langham Creek needs to get to the 25, but there's a flag. And it'll be a false start against the Lobos. And they'll move them back 5. So we'll give them 3rd and 10.
Yeah, you have to be careful, especially when the score kind of gets out of hand like this. The focus kind of gets out of hand a little bit. Guys are not as locked in as they were early on.
And here's Watson in the shotgun. Carter's directly behind him. And Watson will throw, and he's got Davis. Incomplete as it went. He went up to get the ball, hit at the same time, went through his hands.
He tossed that ball a little bit high, but what Cypher is doing is they're just trying to disguise their coverage. They actually have a guy over the top that rolled over. He's waiting right until the snap so the quarterback Watson can't see what he's trying to do. It's almost like a spy trying to disguise what you're doing, and at the last second you jump into double coverage.
And they'll punt.
Little pooch
and
kick.
They're going to try to down it. We'll see if they...
He touched the end.
Oh, very close there. But they call a touchback. And Cy-Fair, instead of being at their 1, will start this drive here in the third with 40 seconds to play, trailing 42-14. They'll be at their own 20. So you think about a quarter left plus a few seconds. Is there really, outside of passing the ball, any way for Cy-Fair to get back in this game?
Oh, definitely. I mean, as a competitor, all the years I played football, college and pro, and even high school, I always believe that at this time, even with a second left to go in the game, I'm down by 60, I still think I can win. It may not be realistic, but I still think that I can win. So definitely, anything can happen.
So Gray rolls out. He cuts up inside across the 25 to the 27. So a pickup of 7 makes it 2nd and 3 for Cy-Fair at their 27.
They need to figure out a way that they can bust out one of their running backs. I've seen some of the guys pulling. You got your tackle and your guards pulling, on these counter plays and then maybe on some of these trap plays they're running. They need to figure out a way to get one of their running backs sprung, maybe try to get him to the outside if they can.
Power I formation, 2 receivers to the left. Man in motion now. And the give is to Kennedy right up the middle, and he just kind of somersaults over the line to the 29. Pickup of 2. And it'll be 3rd and 1. And this is one of those plays where you would expect a line like Cy-Fair has to be able to make enough of a push.
Mm-hmm.
That'll bring us to the end of the third quarter with Cy-Fair trailing Langham Creek 42-14. You're listening to TexanLive.com. And we're back here in Cypress Creek at the Berry Center with Langham Creek and the Cy-Fair Bobcats. Tonight's game brought to you on TexanLive.com. I'm Lou Rush alongside the coach, Derek Jones. Langham Creek leads 42-14. We've got 12 minutes to play in the game as we start the fourth. 3rd and 1 for Cy-Fair at their 29-yard line. And the give is to Kennedy's across the 30, the 40s, across midfield. And he's caught from behind at the 37-yard line of Langham Creek. That was the big run you were talking about Cy-Fair needing, Coach.
That was an outstanding run, outstanding call, short yardage play. Usually on those short yardage plays, you have all your guys packed in. You're running a pinch defense. You want everybody to hit their gaps. They actually had a linebacker shoot through the A gap, and he almost made the tackle in the backfield. But the thing is you have everybody so much compaction in the middle that you have your outside. So if you're fast enough and quick enough to bounce to the outside, there shouldn't be very many people. And he had a nice run on that play to set up a first down for Cy-Fair. There was a penalty on top of that.
Unsportsmanlike
Yeah,
conduct.
that's a lot of yardage. That's definitely unsportsmanlike.
So that'll put the ball at the Langham Creek 23-yard line.
It's a huge play.
First and 10 now. Gray in a shotgun. He's got Kennedy to his right. Fakes the handoff to the man in motion. He wants to throw. He's going to run instead. He's across the 20 to 15 and out of bounds at the 10.
That's a nice scramble, and that's a nice play from Mr. Watson to get a first down, rolling out to your left-hand side. He wanted to throw the ball, but they have good coverage back in the secondary. Couldn't find anybody to get the ball to, and once again, like I say, Cypher doesn't throw the ball a whole lot, so it's hard getting out, in and out of your breaks and getting those open routes when you're not used to doing it. But that's a nice scramble, gives them a first and goal.
So Gray brings him up to the line. He's got the backfield in the power I with Wiggum and Kennedy. The give is to Kennedy. He's caught at the line, and he'll fall forward for a gain of 2 at the Langham Creek 8.
And nice tackle. Once again, you had your tackle pulling. You're running a jumbo set, ace formation. What that is 2 tight ends. You want to try to get all your bigs on the line and have everybody a base block. And then have your fullback lead you through one of the holes, whether it's the 6 or 7 hole, doesn't really matter. And then have your tailback right behind him. Power football at its best.
And they'll set up in the same formation here with Gray under center. 11 minutes to play in the quarter. 11 minutes to play in the game, actually. And the give is to Kennedy, and he looks like no gain as he's met at the line and just stacked up. And we'll go to 3rd and goal from the 8.
Nice tackle by a host of Langham Creek Lobos. Number 41, Paul Darks. Want to give him some attention on that. One of the safeties coming up. They got a lot of guys in the box, especially when you see that 2 tight end formation. You put as many guys in the box as possible to try to stop that run. This is a big 3rd down for Cypher. They have to come away with a touchdown. Field goal here won't help them.
Kennedy, the only one in the backfield now behind Gray, who's under center. And the pitch is faked to Kennedy. Gray rolls out. He's going to throw, and it falls incomplete. And that'll bring us to 4th and goal from the 8 for Cypher, with 10:07 to play in the game and down 28.
They tried to run a naked boot on that play. It's basically you fake like you're going one way. You have your quarterback roll out on a naked boot to the other side. Usually have a tight end dragging with you. That's why it's naked. You don't have anybody really blocking for you as you come around. The thing is you have to establish the run first before your defense bites on that. So you had a lot of Langham Creek defenders. They're in position because they don't have to worry about the run so far.
Here's a big play for Cypher. 4th and goal at the 8. Gray is under center with Kennedy behind him. And a whistle. Delay of game.
That's big.
On Cypher, and that'll cost them 5 yards.
That's big. Once again, for Cypher, they've had success with the run, and you're trying to speed up the game. You know you have to score. You know this touchdown is important, but you're also trying to do it a little bit quicker, and it kind of causes uncertainty. You're trying to call plays that you're just not used to calling because you're used to the methodical drives. Now you actually need to hurry up and score. And you want to make sure you got the right one because after this, if you don't get this touchdown now, you may not get back down here again.
So 4th and goal from the 13 now. Gray's in the shotgun. Kennedy's back there with him. And he's going to throw at the moment anyway. Fires a bullet,
nice.
Touchdown to number 14.
Sam Cole. There's a penalty on the play though. He was wide open. I'm not sure if he pushed off or not, but he was really wide open. He's running a slant route too.
Looks like the play is going to be against Langham Creek. A hold. Defensive hold against Langham Creek. So the penalty will be declined. The touchdown pass to Cole is good. And Langham Creek, Cypher sets up for the extra point.
Nice pass route from Cypher, basically a slant route. You get your wide receiver as far up to the top side as you can and have him run a 2 route, which is called a slant route for a touchdown.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it's good. 42-21 with 10:01 to play here at the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas. You're listening to High School Football on TexanLive.com.
Allspa's is so much more than Ace Hardware. Sure, we have nuts and bolts, lawn and garden, faucets and fixtures, lights and locks, even outdoor cooking. But Allspa's is also a boutique, featuring the finest names in jewelry and home accessories. But most importantly, Allspa's is a friendly, helpful family of people who take pride in their products and services. Allspa's is Ace Hardware, and so much more.
And we're back at the Cypress Center, or the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas. Alongside the coach, Derek Jones, I'm Lou Rush. And we're playing the game between the Langham Creek Lobos and the Cy-Fair Bobcats. Cy-Fair just drove 80 yards in 8 plays, took 2:39 off the clock. And the scoring drive, as always, is brought to you by Allspa Ace Hardware. Cy-Fair gets set to kick off. Do we see an onside kick at this point?
You know, I would say no. I mean, of course, Langham Creek is looking for that, so you always have to be alert. But you don't want to give Langham Creek a short field, especially with 10 minutes to go. You hope your defense can kind of slow them down, kick them deep, and put them in a little bit harder area to try to score, and kick it away from him as well.
So Davis will watch that one go out of the end zone, and Langham Creek will start at their 25-yard line with 10:01 to play in the game and up 42-21.
Now, I'm not advocating slowing the game down for Langham Creek because they've had a lot of success, and I'm always an opponent of getting out of what got you there. But with 10 minutes to go, you're up by 20 points. You know, you want to be able to try to run some clock yourself, because if you're passing the ball, unless you're going deep and you're throwing to Mr. Davis, which I won't ever say no. I mean, it's like playing Madden with that young man out there. I mean, but besides that, I try to run some clock. You got Carter in the backfield. He's a heck of a running back. I'd see if I can maybe squirt him loose on one of these plays.
So Watson's in the shotgun with Carter behind him, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and the give is to Carter, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
It's a nice defense from Cy-Fair to make the tackle in the backfield.
And we've got a player down on the field, and I believe that's Carter. Can't quite make out the number yet, but you know, if Cy-Fair can get a 3 and out here, they get decent field position, and you know, if they put together a drive like they did last time and just use a couple minutes off the clock, they'll be right back in this ball game with about 7 minutes left.
Yeah, just like you asked, you asked if the game is over. No, the game is never over as long as there's time on the clock. I mean, anything can happen. You've seen some crazy things happen. I mean, for all you basketball fans, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with Reggie Miller when he had a couple 3-pointers, to extend the game when they played the New York Knicks back in the day. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, this is football, it's a sport. I mean, there are young men out there anywhere from 15 to 18 trying to play, so mistakes definitely do happen. But, the cards are definitely not stacked in your favor, not with 9 minutes or, to go with some change in the fourth quarter.
And Carter's up. Looks like he'll be helped off the field, though. And during that injury timeout, Watson went over and had a conversation with Courtney Davis. So it'll be interesting to see if they came up with something or, had some notes back and forth between the two of them for what Davis might be seeing now.
Yeah, they've got a good tandem going. And let's hope that young man is doing okay or will be okay. I mean, I know kind of hot tonight, maybe, cramps kind of set in, so hopefully it's nothing serious.
So Jalen Howard will take over in the backfield for the Lobos with Watson. And we'll be 2nd and 10 now with 9:43 to play in the game. And Watson will fake it to Howard and throw it to Davis. And Davis is out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Nice quick out route. I mean, once again, Cy-Fair is playing off of you. Take your 5 yards, get yourself a first down, and get close to it. It sets up a short 3rd down for them.
So 3rd and 1 at the 34. And we got to give here, and we'll see. if Howard picked it up or not. We'll probably get a measurement. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it appears that's definitely going to be close.
And they got a timeout on the field, officials timeout, a player down on the field now for Cyfair, and we'll take a timeout with them. You're listening to High School Football on TexanLive.com.
If you want a real authentic Texas barbecue, you need to come to Tin Roof. We've been doing barbecue for 12 years, and we're just a little mom and pop barbecue joint. Everything is cooked fresh here. We have brisket, sausage, chicken that's cooked fresh every day, ribs cooked fresh every day. We have the world's best turkey, and then we do like 15 side dishes, and the side dishes are all from scratch. On Friday and Saturday night we have live music. We'll have a band playing outside. So if you get a chance, come by and see me.
Center in Cypress, and they have given Langham Creek the first down at the 35-yard line, so Howard gets the yard they needed, and it's 1st and 10 Lobos. And Watson gives it to Howard. He's off the right side. He's across the 40, and they'll spot the ball at the 40. So Howard appears just to be as quick as Carter, getting to the edge and making defenders miss.
Yeah, they have an outstanding running back core, and I mean, I'm looking at Mr. Carter. I mean, it may be cramps. I saw them rubbing his back leg, and like I say, this turf looks great. It's great. You don't have to maintain it and all the other stuff, but it soaks up so much heat that these guys can be dehydrated. They won't realize it until they fall down.
2nd and 5 at the 40. The throw is to Pryor, and he eludes one and gets across the 40, maybe to the 41. And they're going to mark him out at the 43. So a pickup of 3 on the play.
Nice tackle by Eric Hallett, and here comes Mr. Carter again. It appears that it was cramps. I saw them trying to get him some Gatorade on the sideline. The thing is, though, once you get those cramps, they don't really go away. It's kind of like the dehydration thing. You don't know it until you got it, and you can't really get rid of it that fast. But it's good to see him back out there again.
Here's the snap. The give is to Carter, and Carter goes the same route as Howard just did, and he's across the 45 and picks up the first down to the 47 of Langham Creek, and that'll move the chains, and the clock will continue to run as we'll go under 8 minutes.
And even with a cramp, he still looks fast. My goodness. I'm impressed with this Langham Creek team. Very, very athletic.
So 1st and 10 Lobos at their 47-yard line. Watson with Carter behind him. He's got 3 receivers to the left. The give is to Carter, straight up the middle, across midfield, into the secondary, and across the 30 to the 26-yard line of Cyfair, and Carter is down again.
Yeah,
but what a burst of speed there.
Yeah, he's got a cramp. The only thing about it is when you have a cramp, it's great as long as you're running, once you get that thing to work right, but as soon as somebody falls on you or tackles you or holds you up or restricts you a little bit, then that cramp flares up again. Once you get those cramps, it's hard to get rid of it. I mean, they always tell you, you always hear your coaches talking about getting the potassium before the game starts. Usually you do that all week long leading up to the game. Eat your bananas, kids, if you don't know what potassium is. But that keeps those cramps, at a minimum. You try to drink as much Gatorade during the week. You try to eat, certain things to kind of help you with cramps. But on a night like tonight, when it's hot during the daytime, that turf soaks up all that heat. And before you know it, once you get a cramp, like I said, it's too late because you've already gotten it, and it's going to take a while for it to get out. So he's going to walk to the sideline, let the cramp kind of subside again, and then come back out and make another 20 or 30-yard run again. It's a strong young man.
It's amazing what your body can do sometimes.
Yeah.
32 yards on pickup there by Carter gives the Lobos 1st and 10 at the Cyfair 26-yard line. And more importantly, as long as Cyfair or Langham Creek has the ball and is keeping it on the ground, like you were talking about, the clock continues to roll.
Yeah, you don't have to give the ball back. You don't have to worry about Cyfair trying to catch up to you. Just run the ball, run downhill.
And here's the give. Nope, Watson will keep it. And now he's going to run, and he's across the 25. He's across the 20. He gets outside. He's going to score all the way in for the touchdown. Paul Watson, 26-yard run, and that will just about do it. 7:12 to play here in the fourth, and just the extra point is all that's needed. A flag on the play, so we'll see what that's all about here.
Yeah, you're going to get a personal foul after the play. He had already scored a touchdown. He had one of the Cyfair defenders, who's obviously frustrated for the night, the way the night is going, came over and hit him late. So that'll be a personal foul. They'll probably mark that off on the kickoff.
So pending the extra point, it'll be 49-21 with 7:12 to go. Our Langham Creek just went 75 yards, and you talked about using time off the clock. 4 minutes and 48 seconds.
Wow. That's an outstanding play. I mean, he wanted to pass that ball, but his receivers recovered. But then once he turned into a runner, he actually had his wide receivers who were on the route turn around and block. And that's the first thing you want to do when you have a big play. You got to have your wide receivers blocking on the edge.
So the kick is good. 7:12 left to play in the game. Langham Creek leads Cyfair 49-21. You're listening to TexanLive.com.
Allspa's is so much more than Ace Hardware. Sure, we have nuts and bolts, lawn and garden, faucets and fixtures, lights and locks, even outdoor cooking. But Allspa's is also a boutique featuring the finest names in jewelry and home accessories. But most importantly, Allspa's is a friendly, helpful family of people who take pride in their products and services. Allspa's is Ace Hardware, and so much more.
And we're back at the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas. I'm Lou Rush alongside the coach, Derek Jones, and we just watched Langham Creek put together a 75-yard, 8-play drive. It took 2 minutes and 49 seconds, and we saw Watson finish the last 26 on a pretty nifty run.
Yeah, that Langham Creek has been a quick strike team all night tonight. I can see why all those three young men, Davis, Watson, and also Carter, they're being highly recruited from some of the big colleges, around. I'm going to make sure after this game I send a text and a tweet out to Oklahoma State, because they need to make sure these guys are on their radar as well. I mean, outstanding game plan all night tonight from Langham Creek. They've answered every single time Cyfair has tried to get back in the game. They've answered it. It's going to be an uphill battle right now with 7 minutes to go. I mean, I don't think Cyfair right now, tonight is just not their night right now. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get back in this ball game the way Langham Creek is rolling.
So as you said, the penalty assessed on the kickoff, and Langham Creek will kick from the Cyfair 45. And that one will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. And Cyfair will start at their own 25, and they're running out of time.
Yeah, they're definitely running out of time. I mean, if you're on Langham Creek side, I mean, of course you don't want to try to let them back in the game. But then you want to try to get in some of the guys who don't get that opportunity to play all the time. You want to try to get in your second, third, fourth team guys if you've got them. Maybe some of the JV guys you may have brought up on the varsity to suit out this week. You want to try to get those kids in. And to be honest with you, if you're on the Cyfair side, you want to do the same thing as well. Not that you're conceding this game by any means, but you know that you live to fight another day. So you want to be able to get your guys some experience, some varsity experience in this game, and so they can help you later on down the road when you're trying to get into the playoffs.
Empty backfield for the Cyfair Bobcats, and they'll throw a little bubble screen, wide receiver screen, and it'll go to the 30 for a pickup of 5. 2nd and 5 now from the 30, and Cyfair will huddle up.
Nice catch by Stormy Sailor, number 86 for Cyfair.
And one thing for Cyfair, the sideline can be their friend in this particular drive to conserve clock.
Definitely help them conserve some clock. You're right.
And Gray is going to throw again, overthrows his man Wiggum out of the backfield. And we'll go to 3rd and 5.
Yeah, we won't call out any numbers on that, but on that play, I mean, it's your fullback out of the backfield. A lot of times the fullbacks have a difficult time trying to, run the route to the out route and then try to catch the ball. But that young man in this situation wants to make sure that he can get out get his head, head around and catch that ball. The ball looked catchable from up here.
So 3rd and 5 from the Cy-Fair 30. Gray's in the shotgun. It looks like they're going to call a timeout. And timeout will be granted to Cy-Fair with 6:26 to play here in the game, and then they're trailing 49-21. What's something that, Coach, that these guys would be talking over in this particular timeout?
Well, right now, if you're in the Cy-Fair huddle, you want to make sure you understand what the play is. You want to call a play that not only, like you said, can maybe get out of bounds, but you also want to be able to get the first down. It's also 3rd down and 5 right now. You don't want to give the ball back to Langham Creek. You want to try to run the clock out. Now, yeah, you may not score, but you want to keep the chains moving to keep that offense off the field and keep your defense off. Your defense has been out there. It may not seem like a lot, but they've been out there a lot. Langham Creek has run up and down this field, passing the ball, and you want to try to give those guys a rest. You don't want to have a 3 and out and get them back out. And for Langham Creek, their coaches are telling them, hey, we need to get this stopped so we can get our offense back out on the field again. Go out here, watch the pass. Watch the run, watch the fake, and although you know that Cy-Fair doesn't pass the ball a lot, you still have to be cognizant that they can throw the ball a little bit.
So here we go, Cy-Fair at their own 30, 3rd and 5. Gray is in the shotgun, and he'll throw. He'll run, no, he'll try to run, and just as he's wrapped up, he throws the ball away.
Now referees are being...
Looks like
they're being kind on that because normally you throw a penalty because he threw the ball actually into his lineman and he was still in the tackle box. The box is from tackle to tackle. If you throw a ball within that tackle box, especially when you're trying to throw it away, you usually get an intentional grounding. But sometimes referees can kind of give you a break on that because you're kind of close to that box. And if I'm Langham Creek, I'm taking out Carter, I'm taking out Watson, I'm also taking out Davis. Those guys don't have anything else to prove tonight. I'd let some other young men get some opportunity.
And they'll just watch that punt roll down to the Langham Creek 7-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Langham Creek. And you're right, they didn't have Davis back on that punt return.
Yeah, there's no need. This is football. Football is a very physical sport. You don't want to get any guys banged up, especially with a score like this. The game is already out of hand. All you want to do now is just finish off this last 6 minutes and 5 seconds without any injuries, nothing, no bang ups or anything like that. Get your guys off the field and get ready for next week's battle.
And that was Mercury Hayes, who we didn't get a chance
Yeah.
to call a lot tonight, but who was one of their star wide receivers as well. He was back on that punt return. And here's the hand to Carter. Maybe not Carter.
23.
Shorts, Ricky Shorts.
Yeah, I have him as well.
So Shorts gets that carry, and it's out to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, he came in with 11 carries for 93 yards. He's also scored a touchdown. He gets some work in every now and then when Carter's not in.
And there's the handoff again to Shorts, and he'll pick up a yard. With that first down play, netted them 18, took them out of the shadow of their own goal lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very smart play. I know they run the check with me with the coach to kind of see what they're running. The coaches is obviously trying to run the clock down, which is very smart right now.
So Watson in the shotgun. He's got Shorts with him, but he'll throw. He's got a man open. He's across the 30, the 35, down at the 36. And that's Casey Pryor on the reception.
Talk about Brandon Ashey and a host of Cy-Fair defenders.
But that moved the chains again.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 5 minutes to go here. Langham Creek with the ball and the lead, 49-21, here at the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas.
Exactly what you want to do. And on this play, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a run. You just want to mix it up a little bit.
And there's your run as he hands it to Shorts, and he's across the 40 to the 41.
Yeah, the only reason they pass the ball, I mean, they're a passing team, so they're comfortable with that. Some teams that would consider that a run, the way they pass the ball, they pass it with so much efficiency. So they just wanted to get that first down, go back to a run game again. I wouldn't be surprised if this would be another run as well, try to run some more time off the clock.
And just as you pointed out earlier in the game, they've got the 3 wide receivers up top to kind of spread things out and open up some lanes there and just keep the defense honest.
Run the play clock all the way down. Very smart.
And there's the hand to Shorts, and he'll be down at the 45-yard line, so he'll pick up 4 more for the Langham Creek Lobos.
Setting up a short, third down play. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a quick pass, just similar to what they did the last time. And the reason they run that trips formation, you see a lot of teams, a lot of colleges, even some of the NFL teams, they put 3 wide receivers up the top, try to spread it out, but it doesn't work for everybody. You have to actually have receivers who can actually catch the ball and actually run good routes, actually have some speed to keep that threat up there. Because if you got guys out there as decoys, like you do in the youth football, you kind of have guys out as a decoy. And this Langham Creek team, they actually can throw the ball, so you have to respect those 3 guys up there.
So 3rd and 1, the give is to Shorts. He's got the first down across midfield, across the 40, 35, and down at the Langham or the Cyfair 35. That's where they'll spot the ball, and that'll move the chains. And Shorts with a big pickup there, and it doesn't matter who Watson hands the ball to.
Wow, when you're Watson, man, you really feel blessed. You can turn around and hand the ball to Carter, and he's going to jet you for 75 or 80 real quick. And then you bring him out and put in Shorts, and this young man barrels, looks like a little bit like Maurice Drew back there in the backfield. I mean, he's rolling down the field as well. I mean, that's a potent offense. I mean, like you said, I'm surprised that this team is 1-4 because they are not a 1-4 team. And I want to see in just a second who they play next week. You need to be on alert because I think this is going to give one of those games that's going to give Langham Creek the momentum they need to finish out this season.
And we're going to have a meeting here at the 35 with the officials.
Catch up on some more scores. Lamar is up 24-14. Still in the third quarter, you got Jersey Village losing to Cypress Creek right now, 42-37. And you got Madison over Davis.
A dead ball foul called on the Cyfair Bobcats. And that will move the ball 15 more yards.
Well, you don't want to let them try to let them score again. I'm sure Langham Creek is going to try to run the clock out, but sometimes you end up scoring even when you're trying to run the clock out. Katy's beating Seven Lakes right now. They beat Seven Lakes 40-8.
And Watson set to receive the snap. The give is to Shorts, and he'll get to the 20 maybe. And they'll say it's a loss of 1 at the 19 instead.
Once again, that option read. You see your linemen, they have their, usually you have a 2-foot split, try to spread out their defense. I see Cypress defense all night they've spread out. There's been running lanes, all night, so you want to continue doing that. Just run the clock and get the play clock. They'll probably let it run down as low as they can before they snap the ball and keep the possession away from Cyfair. Very smart.
They've been snapping it between 1 and 3 seconds on the play clock. Watson's going to keep it. He's outside around the 20, 15, dancing around, and he'll get to the 12-yard line of Cyfair.
He's a very talented young man. And he's running really well, but like I said, as a coach, I'm not sure who the backup is if he's if he's feeling well. I see who they have on the charts, but I try to get that young man in a little bit, let him get some Let him get a little burn in the game as well.
Eric Osbury coming in to play running back now for Langham Creek. And they've got about a yard to go, it looks like, on third down. And here's a handoff to Osbury, and Osbury looks like he's made it. We'll see what the spot is on the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
And first and goal from the 10 for Langham Creek with 1:27 to go in the game.
Yeah,
As Osbury picks up what they needed.
that should wrap it up. You should see them getting a victory formation, run the clock out. They don't have to score anymore.
And that's exactly what they're doing. Victory formation. And they let the play clock tick away. It's under 10 seconds now. And they'll kneel it at the 13, and we'll probably get one more play, possibly two.
This is an outstanding game from Langham Creek. It's a big win to knock off the undefeated in the district anyway, Cypress-Fair Bobcats. It's an exciting time for Langham Creek to come out here and execute. Big win for the program. This should give them some definite momentum going forward.
Well, Langham Creek will move to 2-3 in the district, and Cypress-Fair will be handed their first loss in district play. And there's the next kneel down, and we've got under 30 seconds to go, and that'll be it as the clock ticks down. And the teams get prepared to line up on the field to handshake, but Langham Creek came out with an impressive performance tonight, defeating Cypress-Fair 49-21. Tennille Carter with 3 touchdowns, Courtney Davis with a couple, including a spectacular one at the end of the first half.
Yeah, 3 for him as well. And I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Cy Woods, you're on alert because this Langham Creek team is fired up and they're excited. They just knocked off the top team in the district, and they'll be knocking on your door very soon in a few days.
So from the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas, you've been listening to high school football here on TexanLive.com between the Langham Creek Lobos and the Cypress-Fair Bobcats. The Lobos win it 49-21. For the coach, Derek Jones, I'm Lou Rush saying good night from Cypress.